Hey, today I'm going to show you the very latest from Ganzo Firebird with my review of this FH922. And I am really excited because there are some features here we've never seen before on a Ganzo knife. Hey, how you doing? If this is your first time here, I'm Jay. Go ahead and consider clicking on that subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. Now, right now, you should be looking at some specs. They're all measurements that I went ahead and I took myself. But don't worry, because I'll list them for you down in the description, along with like the links to buy, the prices, and if there's any coupon codes. Hey, and if you'd like to help support the channel, go ahead and check out my recently opened merch store. All right, we're going to go ahead and kill two birds with one stone here because I wanted to show you some size comparisons and so you could see it next to some of my favorite Ganzo FH knives. And you can see amongst these, it's pretty comparable in size. Now tell me, do any of you remember those shrinky dinks? Remember you cut them things out, you put them in the oven, and then they get like small, but then yet thick at the same time? That's what this sticker reminded me of. It looks just like a shrinky dink. But yeah, Ganzo is starting to put these in all of the boxes now. First, let's go ahead and take a look at this good looking drop point, which it kind of takes just a tiny bit of inspiration from like the Nesma style of blade shape, specifically like right there. So we get about 3.4 inches of D2, that is, it's flat ground with a satin finish, of course, you know, just like most of the FH knives are. I love like this wider profile blade that I measured it and it comes in at just a hair under 1 inch. And that's going to be at the, of course, the widest point. You get a very like kind of prominent top swedge. You can see it. Yep. Right up there. And that's going to take up about 3/4 of the blade spine. Now, you know, usually Ganzo, they do such a nice job with like, you know, that edge termination point, you know, right at the plunge grind. And the 922 is a perfect example of that. I mean, look at it. You know, there's nothing really exciting going on here on this G10 handle. I mean, it does have some nice texture, which gives us excellent traction. It's very comfortable because if you notice, the edges all the way around have been chamfered. Great blade to handle ratio with a 4.35 inch handle that is definitely, it's long enough for my medium-sized hand to go ahead and fit all 4 fingers. It's kind of subtle, but I like how this handle, it you know, it's narrow towards the top and then it starts to widen the closer you get to the pommel. Not a very thin design with the full steel liners that kind of make it a little over a 1/2 inch thick, and it does though. It really does like fill the hand nicely. Hey, as long as we're talking about the liners, you can see that there is, look at that. Yeah, there's plenty of room to get at that partially exposed lock bar. So it's going to be, yeah, it's super easy to unlock. And man, am I excited to see this deep carry wire clip that Ganzo is using for the very first time, which it is, yeah, it's switchable to the other side, so they are definitely showing us lefties some much needed love. Now, another first for Ganzo is the use of this type of flipper tab, which doesn't it? It kind of looks like the one that's on the CRKT home front. Other than its unique look, you know, it's easy on the finger, well, because of the rounded design, and it has just the perfect amount of jimping. And we gotta talk about this action because, you know, as usual, it's pretty friggin' great in both directions. I mean, on the open, you can either go ahead and do like the push button, or you can also light switch it open. But either way, this thing is really difficult. I mean, really difficult to fail, which, you know, yeah, usually that is going to be a good sign. That's a well-tuned detent. While it's open, you can see that it looks like mine, yeah, that's some pretty early lockup. What do you want to call it? About 10%. And closing this thing is even better because, you know, it's got a ball bearing pivot, of course, but it drops shut. Oh, look at that. I mean, it's dropping shut with barely a full shake. You know, and not that there was ever any doubt, but in the closed position, you can see that blade. Oh yeah, that's perfectly centered. But now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever had a Ganzo that wasn't. So what do you say we go ahead and let's check out how well that this 3.5 millimeter thick blade cuts. And I'm really interested to see, because if you look at that edge, you can see, yeah, that's all belly that's going on. Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think that edge and this wide blade profile, that makes a huge difference. Well, that, and of course, the behind the edge thickness. All right, so what about this knife, you know, don't I like? And honestly, man, I'm having a hard time coming up with anything. And I mean, if you want me to, I can go ahead and nitpick. I mean, of course, there's like a few minor things that I would change or add, like, you know, I'd be super happy if they added thumb studs, because then it would just give it another opening option. And of course, you know, a usable forward finger choil would be nice to have, because then we could go ahead and choke up, especially if you've got, if you've got hands on the larger size, because this is, you know, the handle, it's kind of more of a medium size. And if for some reason you're not really feeling this, like this gray color, you know, you can also get it comes in black, orange, or I've also seen like a darker green. So I think that it's safe to say that, yeah, Ganzo, they've done it again, because the FH922 this is a great knife. And not only is it good looking, but you saw how it cuts. It slices so well with that wide blade. So let me say this. If you go ahead, use one of the links down below, you pick up one of these for yourself, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Now, up on the screen is a video that I went ahead and picked out for you to go ahead and watch right after this one. And hey, don't forget, go ahead and click on subscribe for knife reviews that get right to the point. Hey, I gotta go though. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Don't forget, go ahead and check out my merch store. I'll see you at the next video. Take care.